Sits in his cockpit lit by a screen, fly in the skies where he's never been. Twitch chat buzzing like a tower call, an 83 Fox, he's got it all. With his wings of code, his heart of flight, he's soaring high, chasing the night. Oh man, A3 Foxtrot, master of the air, gliding through the clouds like he's really there. Joystick in hand, engines on the rise, taking us with him through virtual skies.
To jets, he pilots them all. A captain of pixels, he answers the call. He loops, he banks, he dives with grace. The sky's his stage, his cockpit's the place.
Turbulence shakes, alarms might scream, but he's steady as a dream. Chat throws jokes, can you stick the land? He winks and says, I've got this plan. Oh, and an A3 Foxtrot, master of the air, gliding through the clouds like he's really there. Joystick in hand, engines on the rise, taking us with him through virtual skies. Sits in his cockpit lit by a screen, fly in the skies where he's never been. Twitch chat buzzing like a tower call, an 83 Fox, he's got it all. With his wings of code, his heart of flight, he's soaring high, chasing the night. Oh man, A3 Foxtrot, master of the air, gliding through the clouds like he's really there. Joystick in hand, engines on the rise, taking us with him through virtual skies.
To jets, he pilots them all. A captain of pixels, he answers the call. He loops, he banks, he dives with grace. The sky's his stage, his cockpit's the place.
Turbulence shakes, alarms might scream, but he's steady as a dream. Chat throws jokes, can you stick the land? He winks and says, I've got this plan. Oh, and an A3 Foxtrot, master of the air, gliding through the clouds like he's really there. Joystick in hand, engines on the rise, taking us with him through virtual skies. Sits in his cockpit lit by a screen, fly in the skies where he's never been. Twitch chat buzzing like a tower call. An 83 Fox, he's got it all. With his wings of code, his heart of flight, he's soaring high.
Hello again, everyone. Michael here with Felicity, November 8033 Fox, a Cessna flight training device that I built right here at home. It is Tuesday the 16th of December, 2025. I do hope you are all well and safe wherever you may be around the world. Today we're going to kick off leg 9 of our coast-to-coast tour in the Cessna 172 Foxtrot. We're flying from the west coast to the east coast in a 145 horsepower 172. It's about 2,400 nautical miles throughout the whole thing. And yeah, so we're going to be kicking off leg 9. At the end of leg 8, we landed in Phillip, South Dakota at Phillip, Kilo Papa Hotel Papa. So that's where we're at, and we'll have to decide where we want to go. So normally I use ForeFlight for all of my flight planning, my flight logging, logbook, even when I bring in and we go over flight planning together. This is all done through ForeFlight. This is it's an electronic flight bag and an app on my iPad that I use. Now, yesterday, okay, well, let me back up just a minute. I am a member of NAFI, that's the National Association of Flight Instructors, and while I am not a flight instructor, I feel like the organization is very beneficial even for me as a private pilot. And honestly, the main reason I joined is because they have a flight simulator instructors group. And let me kind of show you this here. Let's see. Yeah, okay, my mic is still going. So here we are at the NAFI main webpage. And NAFI, again, it's the National Association of Flight Instructors. And they have several different, what do I want to call them? Interest groups. So I'm going to show you here. Let's see. Did I not switch that over correctly? Okay, stand by. Technical difficulties here. Let's do this. And then do this. And then do this. And then do this. Okay, that's much better. That's what I want to be able to see there. Okay, so here we are at the NAFI webpage. It's nafinet.org organization. NAFINET .org. And, well, it looks like it actually redirects us now. nafinet.org. Okay. Website must have changed recently. It is now nafimentor.org, but it does redirect us. And like I said, the reason I joined was to take advantage of their special interest groups, primarily. Let's see. See our events calendar. What am I looking for here? That's not what I want. I want the information on the special interest groups about NAFI. Team Busy Bee, yo, how's it going? Okay, let me just... Alright, I'll have to let them know that for some reason their special interest group link. Let's see. NAFI hosts 11 members-only conversational groups, each with a common topic of interest. These are perfect for instructors and aviation business owners to share knowledge in a casual setting. Master instructors. Yeah. All right, let me just go ahead and sign in here, and then I can show you all of the special interest groups. That they have available. Okay, man, they redid their web page and everything here. Special SIGs, special interest groups. That's what I want right there. They have a eVTOL and powered lift instructors special interest group. Man, I might have to get in on that one. Flight school owners and operators, 141 instructors, instructors teaching instructors, seaplane instructors, instrument instructors, simulator instructors group, drones, new instructors, glider instructors, rotorcraft instructors. So they have all of these special interest groups, and they all have a monthly meeting discussing various aspects of whatever the group entails. Now, I signed up to take advantage of the simulator instructors group, and it has been very rewarding. Basically, learning myself, I am learning, and I am also providing some advice, but mostly learning, how to use a flight simulator. What's the word I'm looking for? Proficiently and accurately for real world flight training, as opposed to just, going in and having fun and flying around and tooling around. So I'm learning various aspects of how to use a simulator for real world training, and that's one of the primary reasons I signed up. But one of the benefits of being a NAFI member was getting a 33% discount, which is a significant amount, and that's close to $130 per year. So 33% discount, along with all of these other discounts for being a NAFI member. The NAFI membership is about $55 to $60 per year. So it's kind of a no-brainer at that point. Save $130. Well, you're paying $60 to save $130, so you're saving $70 just on that one, subscription. There's all these other ones. Cloud Ahoy, discount on Flying Eyes glasses, Avemco insurance if you're a flight instructor, ASA supplies, all these various discounts available to NAFI members. Wonderful program, wonderful organization. Okay, and I've taken advantage of it for years. I have, and that's what's enabled me to be able to take this simulator out to the general public, let them use it, and kind of instruct them how to use it and how to make it beneficial for them. However, yesterday I get an email from ForeFlight. Changes to your Safe NAFI membership discount. And at the end of the day, it basically says, we're going to cut your discount, 33% down to 15%. Which is, they reduced the ForeFlight discount more than half. So it's down to 15%. So, we head over to ForeFlight here. we can take a look here. Just to kind of go over, you know, the discount applies to the essential and premium plan. $30.80 a month, $30.83 a month for premium, and $20.83 a month for essential. Billed annually, so all at one time, starting at $250 per year at one time, up to $370 per year at one time. And this is the one that I use. I've really come to enjoy a lot of the additional features that the premium has to offer for the value, for what I was paying for the discount, with the discount. It was hard for me to justify the full price because I am not a flight instructor. I don't use ForeFlight for flying every day. I use it for when I'm able to fly in real life, which was not nearly as much as I use it for X-Plane. And it's flight training along with, flight simulator, all of that stuff. Most of my time is spent in simulation. But I did enjoy the benefits that the premium had to offer. So, if we have, say, 370 minus 33%, so it's $122. So that brings it down to $247.90 for the year, which at that price I was okay with it for the value that I received. But if we take that same 370 and now if we subtract 15%, 370 minus, that didn't work out either. 370 minus 15%. Okay, so that's $314.50. That's $75 more for the same ForeFlight package that I was using previously. So that came kind of a shock, not just to me, but to everyone in NAFI, and not just NAFI, but SAFE as well. And I don't even think that they're quite fully aware of it yet. And the reason I say that is because the website still reflects the 33% off if we look at the NAFI website there. So, all of that has sort of prompted me to start looking at different EFBs. Because for those of you that don't know, Boeing owned ForeFlight, then Boeing sold ForeFlight to private equity, and it is Bravo. Man, I forget the name of it now. Something Bravo. But a private equity firm, and like most private equity firms, are going to, increase prices, cut employment, do away with, their top people, and bring in new people that don't cost nearly as much as, the people that know what they're doing. Thoma Bravo. That's the name of the private equity firm that now owns ForeFlight. So, I did some poking around, asking around, and was told to maybe check out this newer EFB, electronic flight bag, called 8Flight. So, we're going to take a couple minutes to check that out. Today, we're only going to focus on attempting to download the application to our iPad, getting it installed, and if they're creating an account if need be, initial setup, that sort of stuff, and then to see if we can get X-Plane to, or get it to read the X-Plane data as far as, altitude heading information, AHAS, and ADS-B, and GPS position. So that's what I want to kind of focus on for tonight, is just seeing this, if this EFB will even work for us and for our use and how to use and usage with X-Plane and flight simulators. So all of that being said, real quick, let me just bring up my iPad here, and we're using using the 4-flight EFB. And then what I want to do is bring up my app store, wherever that's at here. And then we will search for 8-flight. Alright, that must be an 8-flight aviator EFB. Next gen EFB for pilots. So screenshots look somewhat familiar to 4-flight, kind of. 4.4 stars. Developers Eric Flight, English language. 156 megabytes, so it's pretty lightweight as far as size goes. Let's go ahead and just download that. Install. Okay. Alright. And nope. Jeez. Took longer than I expected it to. So we're going to download this app and see if we can get it connected to our flight simulator. And then if we can get it connected to our flight simulator, we will revisit it on another stream and dedicate the stream to the application and getting things more figured out, go over things in more detail, moving map, charts, approach plates, weather, traffic. I want to touch base on all of that, but I don't have time to do that tonight and get leg 9 of our tour in. And I do want to give a quick thank you to Frozen Alaskan, who came in with a new channel follow, a week ago to the day, actually, and also gave a shout out to 25 viewers, which, thank you, which is just very random to me, but that's cool. Because we weren't even online at that time, and I'm not sure I've even rated your channel. So thank you for that shout out and for that channel follow, and I look forward to flying with you in the near future. Okay, so as we saw before, we do have GPS position here at Philip PHP. This GPS is coming from X-Plane. We can verify that by seeing that it is in fact connected there to X-Plane 12. Provides GPS air data with altitude, pressure, altitude, and ADS-B. Okay. So let's open 8-flight aviator here and just see what we get right off the bat. Allow while using the app. Let's do notifications. Sure. And this is our first page here, the most advanced EFB. icing, clouds, turbulence, winds, temperatures. Continue. Okay. Let's create an account. Okay. November 8033 F at, and we're just gonna kind of hang out here in the hangar while I filled this stuff out. Sorry about that. Okay. Better flight planning. 30 days free. Geo-reference plates, etc. Full IFR EFB. 30 days free, then $99 a year. 8 flight data. Weather and prices for planning. It's $59.99 per year. 8 flight data. Weather and prices for planning monthly. $5.99 per month. So it's a figure $6. 30. So it is about $12 cheaper to do it per year in this regard. But right now, like I said, we're just going to focus on whether it can read data from X-Plane. So we're just going to do this 30 days free one, and if everything works with X-Plane, we will revisit this. Okay, no commitment, cancel anytime in settings. Okay, settings, Apple account, at least. All right, so I got 30 days. Go ahead and subscribe to this. Purchase was successful. Okay, and this is the main page that I'm seeing here right off of the bat. Looks like it's downloading some data. Nav data. It says IFR data expired downloading. Nav data expired downloading. Okay. Here, let me do this. I'm gonna just make my camera smaller. I don't want to overlap the screen here. Right away, I'm looking for a GPS button, just or some way for it to locate where I'm at, maybe. And that's the thing. That's the other thing I don't quite know is if this is an actual moving map or not. I would imagine it is. All right, take a look at the layers here. Charts. Do we have? Okay, IFR data is being downloaded. All right. So these must be the various overlays available. Altitude, what is that? Okay. Aircraft. Okay, so we can add an aircraft in there. Let's see what this is here. November 8033F. Call sign. Okay. Aircraft type. Make. Cessna. Model. 172. Year. 1964 and a half. Color. We are purple and okay, purple's good enough. Home airport for India Niner. Alright, airspeed units. We're gonna go miles per hour. Length units, inches, okay. Alright, so profiles would need to be added manually, it looks like. Okay, basic empty weight, 1400. Max takeoff, 2300. Aircraft type. Start, taxi, takeoff, fuel. Totally usable fuel. Fuel type, we are MoGas. Units, gallons. Start, taxi, takeoff, fuel. Maybe 3. Okay. Total usable fuel is 36. Alright, so we have our aircraft in there. One thing we need to do, and it's still downloading. Let's see. Okay, so looks like this weather button thing on the left-hand side above the FBO box turns on and off like flight categories and cloud layers. Alright, so it's still downloading some data here. It might be a minute. Those must be progress bars. Record track log. Auto record flights. GPS altitude 1,155 feet. So I wonder if, okay. Alright. So there's a plane. Okay, so there's me. So it's pulling my GPS data here from where I'm here at the house and not in my simulated environment. So I know for a fact that it supports GDL90. This application supports GDL90 on port 4000, based on what the developer told me about it. So let's go in here and see if we can't specify. That's not what I wanted. Okay. See if we can't specify port 4000. What do we have here? Well, what happens if we just click broadcast to all maps on the network? Let's click on that and click OK. And then we'll check back here. Okay, we're still showing us. Three connections. Well, let me just try and restart it. See if it doesn't grab it now that I have explained broadcasting to all moving maps. Alright, nope, still has me here in Central Ohio. Okay, I'm gonna have to revisit this. We'll revisit this another day. It's gonna take up too much time for me to try and get these connected, if it's even possible, this evening. I want to get to flying. So for now, I'm just gonna close that out and bring ForeFlight back up, and we will do our flight planning real quick. Alright, ForeFlight has us at Philip, PHP. Let me bring up the whole entire route again here. Okay, this is the whole route, the entire thing. We've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 legs, which has us at Philip. So from here, we need to figure out where we want to go next. So, if I zoom out a whole lot, I can see a bunch of green in the entire, well, not entire, but the immediate east area. So, the area weather doesn't look too bad as a whole. We could get closer somewhere, there may be some other issues, but zoomed out, it looks pretty VFR. And I like to look for airports with fuel and a beacon. Because if something happens and it's going to get late and get dark, we want to make sure that we can see the airport, especially in this unfamiliar territory. So I prefer to have a beacon available and fuel. And one of the first things I notice along our blue flight line here is this airport that's almost right on top of the blue line. Chamberlain Municipal 9 Victor Niner. I see a magenta star, and I see a magenta cross. So that tells me this airport does have fuel and a beacon. How far is this airport from where we're at? Approximately 102 miles. That might make for a good leg. So let's do that. We'll plan a flight from Phillip, PHP, over to Chamberlain Municipal 9 Victor Niner. Alright, so I added that waypoint into the flight plan. I'm going to go ahead and save this flight plan and overwrite the one we just loaded to add this new waypoint in. And then delete the original. And then we're just going to plan a flight from PHP to 9 Victor 9. You have to do it like this because if you don't, ForeFlight treats it all as one flight with waypoints as opposed to legs. Right now, what I'm interested in is just the information between Phillip and Chamberlain Municipal, where we're going. Let's go ahead and pack for this. I want to thank everyone for coming in and hanging out on this Tuesday evening. VFR charts and imagery and NOTAMs and fuel prices and all this information being downloaded. Okay, we got that. We are VFR. We're going to be flying east. So that puts us at odd 1,000 feet plus 500, well, with these altitudes, 3,500, 5,500, 7,500, we want to fly at an odd 1,000 plus 500 to maintain separation from the IFR traffic, which will be at even thousands, not plus 500. It would be at the thousands of feet, odd or even, if you're IFR. Looks like it's going to be just across a river, too. I want to look at the elevation figures in the area. 3,200, 3,100, 2,700. Melvin Leroy, hello. 3,500. So those are all elevation figures. For 3,500 here, I think I want to fly at least 5,500 for the leg. Altitude is your friend. Flight plan. Let's modify this, bring it up to 5,500 feet. We have a 26 knot tailwind. Is that correct? We'll find out here in just a moment once we go through the briefing. But the route looks good. 100 nautical miles. We can perhaps use this creek as a couple creeks as a checkpoint. If this were an actual flight, we'd be taking the time to generate VFR checkpoints, and a nav log. Make sure everything's on point. So if I were to do that, let's see, I would use the railroad tracks probably for a bit of a visual aid, departing east there. And then there's a couple of creeks that we could use as checkpoints. A freeway, airport. Unfortunately, I'm not very familiar with the area, so there may be some visual checkpoints that the locals know that I wouldn't necessarily know. But I do that about every 10 to 15 nautical miles. Try and come up with some sort of checkpoint to confirm that we are where we are and where we're supposed to be. Okay, 5,500 feet. And we're going to make our departure time essentially now. Let's go ahead and send this over to a flight. And then we'll confirm here. It looks good there. Nope, I have the wrong aircraft selected here. Okay, now we're going to send this over to a flight. Alright, 5,500, November 8033 Foxtrot. And we will do a weather briefing on this real quick. Icing air mits just to the southeast of us. Turbulence high. With a base at 31,000 feet, we're never up that high. Low level wind shear. Let's take a look at this one just to the east of us. Active during passing time. So there could be some wind shear in effect with that tailwind of 24 knots. I can believe it. Surface analysis chart. High and low pressure systems in the area. METARs, like I said, zoomed out. Everything looked green. I didn't see any blue, nothing marginal, or even IFR. So the only variables is unknown at Kilo India Charlie Romeo. But everything else is 10-mile visibility, few clouds, clear skies. Pretty much standard pressure, even 299 or 2. Pyreps. We're going to skip over the rear world Pyreps. Terminal area forecasts. VFR. Everything's looking good there. Wind chart. This is what I wanted to see. One of the two that I want to see. Let's look at this wind. So the wind starts at the top of the flag and it makes its way towards the black dot. So we can see here that we are going to have a kind of a quarterling tailwind, not quite a full tailwind. It's maybe about 30 degrees off of us, but it's anywhere between 35 to 40 knots. Each long black line represents 10 knots, and each short black line represents 5. So we can see here, 35 to 40 knots based on this depiction. vertical cross-section chart. Green is our terrain, blue is our flight line. What I like to look for in this chart is to make sure that there's not a whole lot of blue line interacting with the green. That means we might have to adjust our altitude a bit. But at 5,500 feet heading east, looking at the elevation figures and everything, that should give us, ample space between us and the ground floor there. And this page also gives wind and temperature information. Winds aloft, again 5,500 feet, 36 to 41 knots. 7,500 feet, 48 to 51 knots. So if we need to make up some time, we can maybe climb up 7,500 feet. En route, navigation NOTAMs. I'm going to skip over all these NOTAMs that don't really apply to us today. So weather, I think we're going to be good. I don't see any reason to delay our flight. So let's go ahead and head over to the plane and get our bird started up and get on out of here. I'll see you over there in just a minute. Thanks for coming in.
Teammate is up. Mic check when ready.
Oh, excuse me. Alright, everyone. Hello again, and welcome aboard Felicity, November 8033 Fox. My name is Michael, and if I don't hack a lung up, I will be your pilot today. Non-stop from Phillip, South Dakota to Chamberlain Municipal. Excuse me, again. Chamberlain Municipal, also in Chamberlain, South Dakota. About 100 nautical miles west to east. And I do have Shirley on board with us today, our AI co-pilot. How are you doing, Shirley?
Doing great, Michael. Shirley back in a Cessna 172F, ready to roll.
Well, at least you're not hacking up a lung, Shirley. Pleasure to have you on board. We're going to go ahead and get our pre-flight checklist done. Let's see. Walk around is done. Exterior is already done. I do all that beforehand. Fuel is good. We are fully fueled. I'm not going to go over a full passenger briefing. Takes about 10 minutes to do that. We'll just go over. Man, excuse me again. I'm sorry. I don't know what got into me there. Safety, SAFETY is the acronym I like to use to go over a safety briefing with a passenger. But real quick, it stands for seat belts, air vents, fire extinguisher, traffic and talking, exits and emergencies, and if you have any questions. The full safety briefing is linked in the Twitch channel. There in the clip if you really need to see it, but yeah. Circuit breakers all in. All static air it's off. Okay. Seat track. We're moving along to our startup checklist here. Seat track, we are scooted up. Avionics are off. Carb heat is off. Mixture is going to go full rich. Throttle slight. Let's get 3 on the primer. 1. Slowly pull it out. 2. And then 3. Okay, primers are in and locked. No mouth, but must scream. If you're gonna go, you want to do it now, before we get moving. I carry a Gatorade bottle in my flight bag. I don't know what a lot of other people do. Okay. Man, I'm dying here. Okay. Again, sorry about that. Hopefully I'm done coughing now. Startup checklist. Seat track. Scooted up here. Avionics are off. Carb heat's off. Mixture is going to go full rich. Okay, that is. Throttle slight. Okay, did all that. Alright, prime, we're good. 3 on the primer, brakes gonna go on. Okay, clear prop. We are clear on the left, clear right, clear in the front. Master's gonna go on. Okay, beacon's gonna go on. Brakes are held. Mags are gonna go to start right away. I'm looking for engine oil pressure and engine oil pressure and engine RPM. If I don't have either one of those on startup, indicates a problem. We'll be shutting it down. Here we go. Alright, engine RPM, oil pressure's in the green. Suctions is good. Okay, let's get our landing light on for now. That way we can be seen here on the ramp. Not that we can't be seen, but yeah. It's one of those weird things, okay? Like, and I don't know if there's a right or wrong. I've had CFIs and double I's tell me if it's a daytime and we're on the ramp, you don't need to have your landing light on. I've had other CFIs more at deltas tell me, well, turn your landing light on so you can be seen easier. So at nighttime definitely. At the daytime, you know, where I'm at my home airport in the middle of nowhere, there's nobody there, I'm not necessarily going to be turning my landing light on in the middle of the day. Sometimes it might even be distracting, I think, because there's an ag service, an ag company that uses that same airport. They got a grass strip, yeah, and it's an uncontrolled airport, and I've been departing 2-8 pavement. They've been departing 1-0 in the grass. Not exactly my ideal situation. I don't know how they get away with it, but I guess when you own half the airport as an ag company, I guess you can do certain things like that. Yeah. Would you believe that a 1964 172 Foxtrot does not have strobe lights? We got a tail beacon, and we had a one strobe when we had our what is it called, a sky beacon? Was that the ADSB out on the left? Yeah. Okay. I think we had a sky beacon which had one strobe on the left, nothing on the right, but that was an add-on. And then we just got fancy new nav lights with integrated strobes. So yeah, our 64 Foxtrot now has some fancy strobe lights. Yeah, I can believe that too. Wing strobes but no tail. I have no Satambria experience. I will definitely take your word on that one. Our oil temperature is still coming up, and aviate, navigate, communicate. Thank you for the channel follow, greatly appreciated. Welcome aboard, Felicity. Alright, I forgot to do two things. I forgot to connect myself to VATSIM, and turn something else on. So let me go and do that real quick, and I will be right back. Alright, we're connected to VATSIM now. Later model Cherokees, like the Archer 2, are also wing strobes only. Interesting. all of my flying experience has been in 172s, 182s, 150s, 140 once. But all the Cessna line. Oh, I'm sorry. It was safety pilot in a Cherokee 180 once. Okay. We are connected to VATSIM.
Roger.
Alright, we are connected to VATSIM. Alright. Oil temperature is still coming up here. It's alright. Pre-taxi checklist. Seat belts, we are good here. Flaps are up. Let's get avionics on. Okay. G5's coming alive. 650's coming up. Okay, 430's on. I have a stationaire. I want to say it's a 210. Hold on, I'll tell you real quick. Cessna. I do have a 206 Golf. Maybe that's the stationaire. Yeah, maybe it's a 206. I don't have a checklist for the 210, so I don't know if I have the 210 in my hangar. Oh, yep, sure do. Sure do. So I got a 206 and the T210 mic. Both of which I have not flown since X-Plane 11. But the stationaire is fun. Especially the float version. Took that up to Alaska. It had a whole bunch of lakes. It's really fun. So
Pause. System test okay.
I'll have to bring that up to par to X-Plane 12, or at least see if there's an X-Plane 12 update for it, and then go through and strip out all the interior elements to give us a good visual here in our cockpit. I want to say it's Thranda, and Thranda uses the dynamic liveries, so sometimes it gets a bit technical to kind of make it fit in my virtual or my full-scale cockpit. But I think I'll have to bring one of those out of the hangar and do that. I've already got the gauge, Air Manager, I just tell it what aircraft I want to fly, and I have the instrument panels all done with, because, some aircraft I need certain instruments and other aircraft I don't. So I have specific panels, instrument panels for the specific aircraft. I've just been so busy with actual testing, X-Plane testing, that I haven't really done much tinkering with the additional aircraft other than this one. So, where are we at here? Flaps up, avionics on, ATIS, AWAS. Do we have an ATIS here? 118.35. I bet that radio volume is turned down. Man, let me go adjust that real quick. 375, okay.
Wind 270 degrees 6 knots. Visibility more than 10 miles. No significant cloud. Temperature 8. Dew point -2. Altimeter 29993.
Niner 3.
Automated weather observation, Philip.
Niner
Wind
3.
270 degrees 6 knots. Visibility more than 10 miles. No significant cloud. Temperature 8. Dew point -2. Altimeter 29993.
Niner 3. At time, okay, and that's, man, I know that there's a way for me to figure out how to time the ads and when to know that they roll. Until I figure, I know that they're there, I just never know when they come across. And I think there's a bot that can tell me when they're about to come or when they're going. I need to look into that because I don't like when people miss things. So I'd rather just break myself during a break. But it's hard to do that when I don't know when those occur. Okay, where were we at here? We have our weather, ATIS, okay. 903 puts our field elevation maybe what, 2150. 2209 is on our EFB. There's a bot that'll say when they're about to start. Buddy of mine has them set up for the stream. Alright, I'm gonna have to check that out or look into one. Okay, transponder, ADSB transponder is set for, let's see, altimeter, or altitude reporting mode. Let's see. Okay. There it is. Altitude, BFR. Brakes will test on the roll as well as our altitude indicator and turn coordinator, heading indicator to compass. Get that set here, right about 3.3-ish. Man, can't wait till I get this redesign. So, real quick, when I first built this cockpit to scale, okay, these A-pillars and these vents, and everything from the A-pillars back, A-pillars, it was about 10 inches back, okay, and that's when I first built it to scale, and the sides look good, struts look good. I didn't like it because there was a significant gap between the front display and the side displays. I could see, you know, past my A-pillars, and then right here in front of the glare shield, where normally there would be windscreen and you can kind of look out. Yeah, I was just detracted by my outside hangar area, the office area. So I shifted everything forward 10 inches. That way where I'm sitting at, you know, I'm not seeing the outside because I'm significantly behind the cabin that I just don't see it unless I really look forward and stretch. And then the front display is about 8 inches wider than the cabin, so I still have some real estate looking out past the cabin left and right and up top. But since I'm now running a networked simulator configuration with 2 machines, sharing and distributing graphics, I'm going to shift everything back, okay, acquire 2 more 1080 displays, run them horizontal, well, I guess it'd be vertical, in portrait mode, to take up that unsightly gap, and then that will bring everything true and exact to scale. That's my plan in the next couple weeks or so. So if we take a look out, and you know, your angle of view is different than my angle of view right now. So you see this strut here, okay? But from my perspective, it's about a 45-degree angle when I'm looking at this display straight on. Okay. Realistically, when I'm looking straight out my passenger window, I see the wing strut more perpendicular, okay, than it is swept back. But when I set up the views and the images, I had to sweep it back because I shifted everything forward. I had to sweep it back so that I could see, you know, when I put aileron or, you know, flap input in, I want to be able to see those actions in the display. You know. So in a couple weeks, these displays and doors, everything's going to be shifted back. The vents are going to be more natural where I'm used to them. And then there will be 2 more displays, sort of creating a box between the front display and the 2 side displays. So figure 5 displays rendering the simulation engine at that point. 4 1080s and 1 4K. 4 1080s on one machine, 1 4K on the other, but they're identical builds. And then 4 1080s are still going to be the same amount of resolution as a 4K. So processing should be identical, or pretty much almost on par with each other as well. So I shouldn't run into any sort of latency issues between the machines. So sometime after the new year, that will happen. Alright, I'm ready to go fly now. Man, I've done so much yakking today. We're an hour and 18 minutes into this stream and I still haven't gotten off of the air yet. But that's alright. We did discover that the EFB-8 flight looks very promising, but might need some more work to get it integrated with simulator GPS locations. It is GDL90 capable, but there may be some ports that need to be adjusted. Steve099 says, let's go. Yep, let us go here. Let's double check here. VATSIM is dead, so we're on CTAF, which is 122.8. Okay, and then we're heading to 9 Victor 9. Let's just go ahead and get that in here. 9er Victor 9er Chamberlain Municipal, activate. Okay, directive about 093 degrees. Alright, I think I am ready to go. How about you, Shirley?
Ready when you are.
Alright, let's go ahead and taxi to runway 30. Or do we want to take the grass? Maybe we can take the grass. Alright, either way we got a back taxi. Winds were like 270. Parking brake's gonna come off. Power in. Alright. Turn coordinator's working. Directional gyro's moving. We are on CTAF. Philip, traffic, Skyhawk 8033 Foxtrot. We're going to be back taxi runway 30, Philip. Okay, we'll stop here.
Approaching runway
12 approach looks clear.
Entered runway 12, 3,200 feet remaining.
Runway looks clear. Alright, let's go and enter for back taxi. Kind of see that windsock off of our nose.
Approaching runway 05. Entered runway 05. 2,700 feet remaining.
Wow. Let's do it. Let's take 2-3 grass. Philip, traffic, Skyhawk 8033 Foxtrot. Clear runway 12, back taxi, runway 23, Philip. It's not so much an issue on wide runways, but when I back taxi, I do like to back taxi off of the center line, more so to the right. That way my navigation lights don't possibly get mistaken for runway and or taxi lights. If it was symmetrical, like if I was right on the center line, it's possible that they could. I would hope that they did not. But it's very possible due to illusions and whatnot. Oh, we do have another windsock here. We will take a look at this one. Alright, so we can see this windsock. It's not quite hanging off of the pole, but it's not quite fully extended. Each of these bands is indicative of a 3-knot wind, okay? So we definitely have 3, not quite 6, so maybe 5-ish. But when it's fully horizontal, you're 15 knots or greater on an FAA windsock like that. Yeah, but each colored band is representative of 5 knots. Okay, let's go ahead and do a run up right here. Fuels on both, trim, set for takeoff. Flight controls, we'll run a box pattern on the flight controls here. Feels good. Pilot, feels good there. Just in case I have to move over to that seat. Instruments. Okay, nothing on the annunciator panel. Mixtures in for best power. Primers in and locked. Let's go 1600 RPM. Here we go. Hold brakes. Left mag, there's an RPM drop. Let's get back to boat. Right mag, there's a drop. Back to boat. Carpet on, there's a drop. Let's pull the power back. I want to make sure that we can stay running with carpet on and at minimum throttle. Looks good there. Let's go back up to 1500. When we kill that carpet, bring us back up to 1600. And there it is. Downwind Sim, hello. Hope you're doing well as well. So great to see you. I hope life has been treating you well. I know you've been busy with work. But yeah, great to see you. Welcome in. We're up here in the South Dakota area. Yeah, run up was good. Okay. Alright. Let's go and get our strobes on. Let's turn our nav lights on. And we'll spin around right here. Fill up traffic, Skyhawk 8033 Foxtrot. We'll be taking runway 23 in the grass. And let me make a downwind departure to the east. Fill up. Alright, full power. Ease it in, slow is fast. Rudder for center, maintain that center line. Okay. Keep some back pressure on, protect that nose wheel a little bit. Alright. In the green, we're ready to roll. To rotate. Positive rate. And we'll climb out at 80 miles per hour. Got my Christmas colors going on in the cabin here. Alright, okay, looks good. We're 500 AGL. Fill up traffic, Skyhawk 8032 Foxtrot. We're gonna make a left crosswind. 23, fill up. Ho 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 is right. Well, we're going to maintain VY till we get up to pattern altitude. (3,200 feet or so. Let's lift our left wing. Let's roll this downwind. Fill up traffic, 33 Foxtrot. Turning left downwind, 23, fill up. Okay. Pattern altitude, TPA. Downwind sim, my simulator has been working decently. The hardware. As you know, I'm a tester for X-Plane. Software sometimes does not work out so great on an alpha branch or a dev branch. But
Climbing out nicely.
on 12.3.3 full release, yeah, everything's been working great. And the later versions of my testing has been working well as well. So, I cannot say a whole lot, but X-Plane 12.4 is going to be enjoyable by many. It is on the horizon. The horizon is a very large area. But I think a lot of people will be very, very pleased. So yeah, Sim's been running great. Hardware's been running great. I'm getting ready to add 2 additional displays by moving these windows back to their actual scale locations, and then putting in a couple portrait monitors here, sort of like the left and right side of my front glare shield. Philip traffic, Skyhawk. 8033 Foxtrot is departing the area to the east, Philip. I don't say none of that redundant last call stuff. Some people do, I do not. I think it's redundant. Yeah, that one's not quite right. So we started checking out this new EFB I heard of called 8 Flight Aviator at the beginning of the stream. Oh, has it got my position now? Maybe it just needed to see movement. Or no. No, it still has me at home. X-Plane 12.3 brought us GDL-90 support for EFBs and whatnot, which provides GPS data, ADS-B, AHAS, altitude, heading, awareness, situational, all that stuff. I apologize, downwind. I thought that scene also had my cockpit mic hooked up to it. I guess it did not. But anyway, I have been testing out this new EFB called 8 Flight. It's supposed to be very similar to 4 Flight at a third of the price. And I tested it out before we got to the plane on stream today, and it didn't seem to grab my X-Plane GPS position. But I do know that it is a GDL-90 capable. It does support GDL-90 information, but the port on X-Plane is different than the port that supports GDL-90 on the application. So I need to figure out how to tell X-Plane what port I want it to transmit on for GDL-90 information, so I can see if this 8 Flight app will actually work for X-Plane purposes. Okay. Interestingly, when I ran Flight Plan Go on your iPad, and Flight Plan Go is another application I was told I should check out as well. Okay, we're outside of our departure airport environment. Let's go ahead and climb up to our planned altitude of 5,500 feet. And we're just passing 3,500. How are you doing, Shirley?
Roger.
Tell me something informative about the area that we're flying in, Shirley. What do you got for me?
You're over the Missouri River Valley. Lewis and Clark paddled right below you back in 1804. This stretch was key to their expedition mapping the Louisiana Purchase.
Interesting. Lewis and Clark, huh? Oil temperature is looking good, oil pressure is looking good, suctions is good, we are charging, we are climbing up, we are now past 4,000 feet, climbing at 80 miles per hour, looking for 5,500 feet with our cruise altitude. Hi, Scotsman. Hey, Mike, hello. Welcome on in. Hope you're doing well. We are climbing up to 5,500 feet, making our way towards Chamberlain Municipal 9 Victor 9er in South Dakota, continuing my Coast to Coast 172 tour. Alright, 5,000. Let's do a climbing turn. Let's lean out. $5,500, level off. And trim for this. Alright. We got 82 nautical miles until we get to our destination. We're making a ground speed of 127 knots. We're indicating 95 knots, if that gives you an indication. So we're getting about a 32 knot tailwind push. That is a significant advantage. It's that tailwind right now. Alright, so we got Salt Lake City Center, Winnipeg Center online on VATSIM. I don't know if either of those are gonna help us. Let's check out VATScope here. So Salt Lake City might actually cover us. No. No, we're just out of it. It's alright. Huh. I-90 is supposed to be just to the south of us. Let's do that. I should have recognized that before. Just follow I-90. That'll take us all the way there. Yeah, I-90 will take us all the way to Chamberlain Municipal. And I do see I-90 just off here to our right. It's downhill going east. Great, that'll improve our ground speed. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's much out here. Like I said, during my pre-flight planning, I had a hard time trying to come up with some landmarks that I would be able to recognize. Thank you for the follow, Scared One. Welcome on in. Welcome aboard, Felicity. But yeah, based on my chart, my sectional here, I-90 will take us all the way there. So we'll just pick a point on I-90 and fly to it. Once we're past the Black Hills and the Badlands, there's not much out here. Okay. Situational awareness. Let's see. I see a is that a beacon? Yeah, that's an airport beacon, white and green. That must be Murdo Municipal 8 Foxtrot 6. Man, that ground speed is pretty high. Alright, let's have a little fun. A little bit of fun. Carpete's gonna come in, mixture's gonna go rich. We're gonna descend down here. Must be a rest area. I've always wanted a scud run I-90 west to east. Alright, bit of a disclaimer, this is not something I would do in real life. Real life, I'd still be up there at 5,500 feet, cruising along, safely. Thank you. Alright, she just called the 500 AGL warning.
500. Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead. Pull up.
You know we're
Terrain
lower.
ahead.
You know we're
Pull up.
lower than we're supposed to go.
Terrain ahead. Pull up. Terrain ahead. Pull up. Terrain ahead. Pull up. Terrain ahead. Pull up. Terrain ahead. Pull up.
I'm pulling
Terrain
up.
ahead. Pull up. Terrain ahead. Pull up. Terrain ahead. Pull up. Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead.
Let's just silence you for now. Actually, I'm looking for police car models. And street signs. What's that one say? Couldn't make it out. Not flying under bridges. Some of them have been collidable lately.
Muted.
I got all these street lights down here. Can't really fly over the traffic. I'll clip my wing. We don't do this because if I lost my engine right now, I would have to land on the freeway. All these other fields around here, that would be a much better place. But I guess the median would be a possibility. See, we get it? If we had to, could we stick it? Alright, we're in the wide arc. Let's grab flaps 10. There's a bit of a bubble up. We know our wind's coming from the west, so we got a bit of a tailwind here. Let's rudder. Alright, we're on the ground. Let's roll it out. Rudder, stay centered. We're here. In the green. And we're up. Holy climb rate. Oh yeah, I got flaps in. I honestly don't know if that's what the median, how wide the median is on I-90. I really don't. But it worked in X-Plane. And that's what's gonna go on my headstone, I can tell you right now. Yep, that's gonna go in my headstone. Here lies Michael. He died doing what he loved, but misjudged his density altitude on a climb out. Yelled, "Oh crap," and went into the trees like a man. But it worked in X-Plane. Alright. Let's climb back up to where we want to be. 5,500 feet. Pulling a fifth wheel toy hauler, you probably got 6 miles to the gallon going uphill. If this was a diesel, then you might have gotten 10. Didn't want to know the MPG, I don't blame you. Alright everyone, I hate to do this, I do need to step out for just a quick minute. I'm gonna turn our navigator on. She's gonna go ahead and hold the plane for us on an altitude and a heading mode. Heading. Alright, we're good on heading, good on altitude. Alright, I will be right back. You're in good hands with Felicity. She's a better pilot than I am, although I don't like to admit it. I will be right back with you. Sorry about that short break, everyone. Felicity did quite well, holding us on heading and altitude. Yeah, downwind, you have ice cream. It's fine. Okay. Alright, let me have my plane back. Disconnect the autopilot. Okay, autopilot's off. I have positive control. I do still have I-90 in my sight. It's directly in front of us there. Chocolate chip cookie dough is amazing. Although I was 2 years ago old when I found out that they actually have a cookie dough ice cream. Instead of a chocolate chip cookie dough, it's just cookie dough without the chocolate chips. Alright, I have a traffic target. Plus 313 through. Alright, never mind, he's 31,000 feet above me.
Traffic's high.
So yeah, with the latest version of X-Plane, well, 12.1 dot, it was even 12.13 dot, right, so many dots, okay. 12.3.0 introduced GDL90 capabilities with various electronic flight bags like ForeFlight and the Garmin Pilot and things like that. Previously, before that implementation, Flight Simulator 2024 does it one way, X-Plane does it another way. But with X-Plane and this new connection to EFBs, before when I was connected to X-Plane on ForeFlight and I looked at the weather at an airport, it would give me the actual real-world live weather at that airport at that particular time, like the actual live METAR. But with the new connection method, I have the choice of getting the actual live METAR from the airport, or with the GDL90 method, X-Plane will provide ForeFlight or the EFB with the weather information coming from X-Plane. So X-Plane downloads the live weather and then, kind of correlates it and averages several stations out into area weather. So when you're looking at the METAR at a specific airport, you're able to see the actual information that X-Plane has, which allows for better weather planning in X-Plane. So yeah, that's worked out great, and even explain AI traffic, like if you're not connected to any sort of online network like VATSIM, Pilotage, IVAO. You're just running X-Plane standalone, and you turn on your AI traffic, so you can fly around with the AI drones. It will populate that traffic on your EFB if you're using the GDL90 connection method. So it takes all of the X-Plane information now and puts it into your EFB just like it would for your real-world flights. And I think that that's just fantastic, because there's no more discrepancies between like the altimeter I set for the real world and the altimeter X-Plane gives me. It might give me a field, a field variance of 100 feet, depending on, if it's, 299 or 3, 299 or 8. So yeah, that's really kind of a neat feature. And then using that same GDL90 connection method, it'll integrate to other EFBs as well. The trick is getting the EFB to read the information from X-Plane through the proper ports, and that's what held me up at the beginning of our stream when I started talking about 8 flight planning, electronic flight bag. And once we land, we'll just try it again just real quick, see if we can get anything else. But I might have to do some settings tweaking and to somehow figure out how to forward the port information from 49002 to port 4000. Because this new EFB I went to test out, it does support GDL90, but it supports it on port 4000. And the output port from X-Plane was different than that. And X-Plane wouldn't let me change that output port. So we are 25.8 nautical miles away from our destination. I'll make my traffic call when we're about 10 miles out, and then, as we get closer, more appropriately. I can still see the lights of I-90, kind of like right along there. So I'm still kind of using that as my visual reference. Because the airport looks literally directly off of I-90. Like less than a mile. And it has a beacon, so we should be able to see it before we were right on top of it. We are 22 nautical miles away, about 10 minutes out. I want to thank everyone for coming in and hanging out and chatting. All the new channel follows, and we'll go into more detail with that once we get back to the hangar, but greatly appreciate everyone coming in. Steve-O and Downwind Sim, Iowa Scotsman, Melvin Leroy was here. Team Busy Bee. First chatter, no mouth but must scream. Which I know he's an AMP. I don't know if he's an IA or not. But we have a mutual server. Just by scrolling through some of the messages, I learn a lot from some of the things he talks about.
Destination AWAS is 118.025.
118.025. Can we get that? Not yet. Huh. Alright, that's because it doesn't have an AUSAS frequency listed or an AWAS frequency listed, so I'll have to make a note to maybe add that in. And program that into X-Plane. But since it does have an AWAS, there's no reason why the X-Plane airport should not reflect that. Alright, I'm pretty sure I see the airport beacon. Does not do GDL 90, but it will connect. Okay, so it'll work as a moving map, just like ForeFlight does prior to their GDL 90 integration. Alright, good to know. Good to know. Same thing with weather, X-Plane and weather. Again, through GDL 90, if I were to pull up my radar here, and I'm sorry, it's kind of a small upper right hand display. So right now, you're seeing what the X-Plane weather radar would see as far as cloud coverage. Or what the map would display if there was a weather overlay for that. So yeah, weather information is transmitted as well. We're almost 10 nautical miles away. And 122.8, and I'm still on that. I don't understand. I will never understand why the FAA cramps so many airports on 122.8. My understanding is the portrayal of it does, yes. So like when X-Plane downloads the real world weather and does its weather calculations, okay, it sends that information to the EFB GDL90 connection for presentation. So like when I look at Chamberlain, the weather information matches up. Based on the weather information provided by ForeFlight and the weather information from the X-Plane map, they reflected each other. Chamberlain traffic, Skyhawk 8033 Foxtrot, about 5 miles to the west. I'm going to be entering a 45-degree left-hand downwind, runway 31, Chamberlain. You are welcome, downwind. Once we get back to the hangar, I will post a link to the GDL90 article. What the? I was flying to the wrong airport. That's my airport there. I was going that way. Okay, we're going to try this again. Runway is 4,300 feet long, field elevation is 1,696 feet, pattern altitude's 1,796. Might as well call it 1,800 at that point. Alright, so let's get down to 1,800 feet. Power's gonna come on, or carpeet's gonna come on. Power's gonna come back. So the link I just posted goes into details about this new GDO90 integration for X-Plane. Alright, 2,500 feet.
Five hundred.
500.
500. Do I have some bad altitude information? Or did I just never change it? I never changed it. I'm 9 or 8.7. Oh, duh. And I called out my pattern altitude 1,000 feet lower than it should have been too. I said 1,800, it should have been 2,800 feet. It's alright, we're entering in at 2,300 feet. That's my fault. I totally miscalculated that. I saw the field elevation at 1,696, and I was like, oh, pattern's, 1,000, and I still called out 1,696. Alright, well, this'll be fun. It's alright. We've done worse. I mean the numbers. Alright, power's gonna come back. 1,600. Carpeet's on. We're in the wide arc. Let's grab flaps 10. And then we're just gonna 180 this all the way through our base to final. Watch our airspeed. Chamberlain Municipal Traffic, Skyhawk 8033 Foxtrot. Left base to final approach. Runway 31 full stop, Chamberlain.
500.
2. Transition. Put it down. Alright, that was a decent landing, I think. Flaps up. We'll go over here to fuel and park. Alright. Okay, what do we got here? Pre-landing, landing, after landing, flaps up, torpedo off, strobes off, landing light off. Okay, pitot heat, didn't have that on. Mixture, trim, back for takeoff, okay. Transponder, okay. ELT is silent. Avionics going off. Mixture to lean, mags to off. Master to off. Beacon off. Okay, parking brake set. Alright. Alright, let's see here. Let's fill in our log. We went from, let's see. Today is the Christmas lights off, yeah. Today is the 16th. Window 172F. We went from PHP to Victor 9. Okay. And what we got here? Attack time 11160. And 1114.5. Hums 125.6. Okay, so we got 1.5 on that one. Total duration of flight, 15, 15. Not quite nighttime. We got 15 cross country, 15 PIC. Okay. The only reason I'm tracking that is because I want to see how many hours it takes us to do this whole tour once we finally complete it. So I will see you all back at the hangar in just a moment or two for a debrief and closing remarks. And is there anything you want to go ahead and debrief, Shirley, before we say goodnight? Of course, she's not listening. Hey, Shirley, are you still with me? Is there anything you want to debrief before we say goodnight, Shirley? Of course not. Alright. Well, I'll see you in a minute. Alright, I do want to thank everyone for coming in and hanging out as we did leg 9 of our coast to coast tour this evening. A couple of quick thank yous to Aviate, Navigate, Communicate, who came in with a new channel follow, and Scared One with a new channel follow as well. So we're on the ground now at Chamberlain Municipal, and I want to go ahead and try. We're just going to do this again to see if we can't get this to work. So, let's just go ahead and close out a 4-flight completely. Okay. Because my thought was, well, if 4-flight is running, is that taking over the information from this other application? So let's go ahead and close 4-flight, close VATScope, and let's reopen this 8-flight Aviator app. Now I'm hoping that when it loads us. Well, maybe that's what the problem was. Okay. Oh, no. Still got me there close to home. There's got to be some sort of because right now, this application, this 8-flight, is using my actual iPad GPS to position it on the map here. There's got to be some sort of settings to... Let's see, what is this? Fuel, dining, FBOs, weather, those are all overlays. Overlays, route search. Okay, so pressing and holding brings up additional information. I might make a suggestion that he put a GPS button so that no matter where you are in the map, if you press the button, the map will move to where you are. So I might make that recommendation. Because I don't see... Yeah. I'm just going to have to check more into this particular EFB, and I might reach out. This app is called 8 Flight Downwind. It's called 8 Flight Aviator. And it was recommended as sort of a for-flight one, like an EFB that's on par with for-flight. Just it's got a 30-day free trial. I don't know if there's an Android equivalent. The cost, depending on which, for like the map and things like that, it's like $99 for the year. And then charts were like $60 additional. So $160 a year for moving map, fuel prices, planning, and charts. Versus, for flight, which for the same comparable, I mean it's not exact, but for comparable, I think it was about $370 per year. So there's a significant cost difference between the two. But long pressing on the map brings up the same type of information I typically see on ForeFlight. Yeah, but I don't see a way to select what type of device to necessarily connect this to. Like, I have a Bad Elf GPS. Also, it's a handheld GPS device. I keep that attached to my flight bag. And when I'm on ForeFlight, I can select the iPad GPS built in, or my Bad Elf GPS, or X-Plane. Those are all available as as quote-unquote devices. If we go in and look in here, I can select a specific device, although there's only going to be, one listed. Let's see, let me close this out. Okay. So as soon as I closed out that 8 Flight app, and I can see my X-Plane 12 connectivity again. So 8 Flight does seem to be talking to X-Plane somehow, because X-Plane stops transmitting its position and connected to ForeFlight when the other app is running, and vice versa. So there may just be something that needs to be tweaked somewhere to get it fully working. But here, I can select which device I want ForeFlight to connect to. And if I turned my Bad Elf on, it would populate here. As well. It's a bad elf. It's a really neat GPS unit. I mean, it's for the size. It's very, very accurate and very intuitive. I can, create track logs with this thing and connect to it through my phone and download the track log and put it onto a map. It's a pretty neat unit for what it is. And I'm turning it on just so I can show you here.
Bad Elf GPS has disconnected.
So, you can select, what you want to connect to as far as a device to provide GPS information to for flight. I don't know, like I said, I don't see that functionality in this other EFB. But this one is like barely a year old versus how long ForeFlight's been around. So out of the box right now, I don't know if this particular one will be beneficial for my use of it in X-Plane, simply because right now I can't seem to figure out how to get it connected to X-Plane. But I guess I'll go ahead and let it finish downloading all of its data, whatever it needs to continue downloading. Hey, I want to thank everyone for coming in and hanging out today. I know we talked about a lot and discussed a lot. But it's always fun hanging out with you, chit-chatting. It's definitely, flying is definitely fun. But always more fun when it's more than one. And you all make that happen for me, so I do greatly appreciate that. Kind of a couple days old news by now, but if you haven't heard the latest NVIDIA driver, if you're on NVIDIA, the 591.44 is not very good right now for flight simulation, whether it's Flight Simulator 2020, 2024, X-Plane, or P3D. There's something going on with that particular driver that is limiting and reducing frames per second on various games. So current recommendation is to roll back to the previous 580. Just call it .x driver, and that should restore your performance if you think you've been or realize you're suffering performance degradation since upgrading your NVIDIA driver last week when it came out. Probably won't stream again until maybe Friday or Saturday. The kids will be here Wednesday and Thursday, but Friday or Saturday, I'm really wanting to delve more into this 8Flight app, so we might do that one of those days. Meanwhile, I'm going to look into how to get the information over to the app, whether I need to do some sort of port forwarding or something like that. All of that being said, again, thank you all for coming in and hanging out. Let's see who we can go and raid and continue our enjoyment with today. See who's doing what. Let's go hang out with some VATSIM controlling and go raid the Jeffrey B channel. Downwind Sim, is always a pleasure to have you in, my friend. Really, really is. I do hope you and the family are well. I hope your Thanksgiving went well. And if I don't chat with you beforehand, I do hope your Christmas goes well as well. So, good night, everyone. Let's go raid the Jeffrey B channel. He is controlling Reading, Pennsylvania, Reading Tower. on the VATSIM network. Let's go say hi, and always a pleasure. Take care, everyone. We'll see you next time.